Sadaf, I strongly feel that times have changed. We are progressing and the change has kind of come, but we still live in India and in a patriarchal society like ours. For the sake of saying that things have changed, of course, yes, they have, but even today, I don't think that there's a scope of equality. I've kind of openly talked about that investors have kind of rejected me because of my gender. And the words were that you're going to get married one day and what will happen in the business after you'll be gone. Yeah, ऐसे भी बोला था कि girls are not into these competitive industries. E-sport हो गया, stress elimination हो गया, do something related to makeup or beauty or part. Circumstances like this and kind of people just wanting to have your number because you're a girl, or investors just calling you for the sake of coffee and not really interested into work meet. So as women, we shouldn't be okay with the fact, and we need to kind of struggle for craving our individuality first.
There are those who just dream, and then there are those who not only dream but make a plan, strategize, focus and work hard to achieve those dreams. Hello, my name is Sadaf and I welcome you all to Women Influencers Talk Show, a show that not only inspires you but aspires you. If you're watching us for the first time, I urge you to subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon for future notification. Also follow me on Instagram at sadaf.rizvi. On today's show, we are so honored to welcome a lady to share not only her achievements but her entrepreneurial journey and her vision, which is larger than life. Srishti Sharma, a social entrepreneur, founder at Game, which is world's first online e-sport platform. She was awarded Asia's Most Innovative Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2020, and if that's not enough, she has been listed as Most Successful Female Entrepreneur of India, which is now converted into a book. Wow, I'm truly amazed by this long list of achievements. Srishti, congratulations. Welcome to Women Influencers Talk Show. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, Sadaf. I am so happy to be on your platform, and I keep on saying this all the time. Kudos to the amazing work that you're doing, and it makes me really happy. When I find platform like yours where we talk about issues that really matter. So I am really happy, and let me just kind of show you my excitement before we start in. So yes, thank you for having me.
Srishti, it's amazing to be in this place at a young age of 23 years. Was it all planned?
Coming to your question, no, of course not. It was not at all planned. I think my discovery to entrepreneurship was very, very experimental. I had never thought of anything like Kilkari or Game or any of these things that I'm into, I would say today we see some of the work that I've been able to do, some of the achievements that I've kind of, been able to crack, or some of the awards that are entitled to me. But trust me, there have been a lot of failures, lots and lots of failures, lots of heartbreaks, cries and whatnot. And I think that I'm still on the path of kind of discovering myself. I'm too young, but too far too good. So I'm happy for the kind of impact that I've been able to make with my work. And the plan was not clear. The how was not clear, but the why was very clear since the very beginning. I feel that I'm one of those fortunate people who have kind of been able to recognize their calling or purpose in life very early. I would say 16 was the exact age when I was clear that whatever I do, I need to kind of create change and make impact with my work, and that's the motto that I live by. It was clear, that this is what I want to do. Now, how is it going to be done was something that was yet to be planned, and it happened. First project started, it became a success. I got the confidence. I started with the second one, and it all happened. And the process kind of initiated because I was clear what exactly I wanted to do. Again, there was no plan, but I'm happy with the kind of impact that at least my work has been able to create, and I think that is something that keeps me motivated.
That's great. Srishti, you are the founder of Game, which is world's first online e-sport platform. Now that's very interesting field. So were you always into online and video games?
No, I was not at all into video gaming all the time. I was a very studious kid with spectacles. I I wear spectacles even today. But a very studious kid who was always into engrossed into books and studies and that chashmish padhaku bacha. I opted for science in my higher school, and I've done my economics honors and actuarial science. So you can understand I was not one of those gaming freaks all the time. But talking about game, we have successfully kind of been able to create Asia's first online esports platform. So this entire concept of esports is not new to me, I would say. And I've been aware of the basic gaming, but as an entrepreneur, I think I recognized the opportunity, the problem that was more prominent here. And then I think once you're clear that the problem you're trying to solve actually exists, the other things can be managed. So I was not like a core gamer, but yes, of course, aware of esports industry and the problems there, the basic video games and how it happens. So yeah.
That's great. Shrishti, you are also the founder of Shakti, which is a smart watch ensuring women's safety by giving shock to the attacker. Now, this is just amazing. So, what was the driving force behind this innovation and how has the response been?
Shakti is very close to my heart. I would say, as a woman, we tend to talk about women's safety, or we tend to talk about giving death sentences to all these men out there only with the highlighted rape case. It's there in the news, we feel bad, we are moved by some intense cases, and then it's over. So it's more or less like a wave, and I strongly feel that an issue like rape, or issues like domestic violence, molestation, eve teasing, they're not really taken up that seriously. Of course the government is doing what they can, and the police force is doing whatever they can, and everybody's trying their best. We are kind of educating people, we're educating men, women are being more strong. But can we kind of really depend on these solutions for such big issues? Do we really are living in a society where with whatever solutions we have, these things have actually kind of reduced? No, they have not. So I kind of it's an attempt. We are still working on the prototypes right now, and we are waiting for the right licenses and kind of to before we launch this product, because this is basically a smart watch that we are trying to build with a shock giving aspect. And with a click, if a woman feels unsafe, or if she feels that she's at a place where she needs help, or she can be attacked by people around her, so she can with a tap of a button can actually protect herself by giving an electric shock to the attacker within the limits that kind of gives her the time to escape from that situation, and not causes the death of the attacker. So it's a complex product that we are working on, but this is a project that if not today, then maybe tomorrow, or maybe 2 years from now, I'm definitely on the mission to launch it, because this is a problem that I as a woman feel needs a solution. So as a woman, I feel that it's my moral responsibility to be able to do something for the community of women, because till when are we going to dependent on other people to provide us with safety? We need to have our safety in our hands, and we need to take the responsibility for it. So I think, and yes, this is the first time that I'm talking about Shakti in on online on any of these platforms. So yeah, that's what Shakti is all about. It's about giving the Shakti of women in their own hands.
That's right. And as they say, woman is an incarnation of Shakti, which is the goddess of power. And I'm sure once this watch will be launched, women will not only just feel safe, but this will also help in reducing the crime rate, especially pertaining to women. Shrishti, you are a TEDx speaker and a Josh Talk speaker. So what is the message that you try to put across to your audience with the help of platforms like these?
Sadav, my idea since day one is, as I've already said, is to be able to create a change or impact with whatever work I do. So even if we talk about speaking, or me giving Josh Talk, TED Talk, I think it's been 4 times that I've kind of given TED Talks. So the idea is to be able to deliver impactful conversation. Whenever I go to these platforms, or whenever I get the opportunity to interact with people, my agenda or the idea since day one is to kind of trigger the mindset of people, and kind of at the end of my talk make sure that the audience or the people who have been listening to me take away something which changes their life for the better, or which impacts them, or which kinds of leave a question in their head that okay, is this also a possibility that can be considered in our lives? That has been my agenda since day one. Whatever platforms I go to or I get invited to, even at your platform, the idea is just to kind of push the envelope forward, where I just don't want to come talk about, hey, this is all what I do, and I'm happy and do support me. No, that's never the idea. The idea is always to kind of deliver impactful conversation and make sure that my listeners at the end of these talks kind of take away something. They go away with a smile, and they kind of go away with that motivation that, okay, if she can do it, maybe I too can. So yeah, that's only the agenda, be it Josh Talk, TED Talk, any of these interviews, or whatever I do. The idea is just to be able to kind of inspire that one person. And if after my talk or whatever I say, or whenever I share my platform, if one person gets inspired, my job is done.
Right. Shrishti, now that we have so many different platforms to voice our thoughts and minds out, I'm sure it has made a huge difference in the lives of many. I mean, it's a mass media where the audience is large and the connect is infinite. Shrishti, you are the recipient of so many awards, and that too at such a young age. We would like to know, what does all this achievement and recognition mean to you?
It always feels good when your work is recognized, and I've been fortunate enough to kind of have a lot of titles in under my name. So of course, it gives you a sense of confidence. It makes you feel that, okay, you're on the right path, and it feels good whenever you're appreciated. And for me, be it awards or it's as simple as anybody coming up to me and saying that I inspire them. So I think that kind of keeps me motivated, and I think that it becomes my moral responsibility to keep on motivating other people as well. So of course, it always feels good when your work gets recognized. But at the same point of time, it comes with a lot of responsibility, because once you're in the eyes of public, you need to make sure that your action kind of motivate them to do only the right stuff. But of course, these awards make you happy. They kind of, and I am really grateful, because a lot of platforms have kind of recognized me for my work, and that make me very happy.
Sure. Now, you have also won the Asia's Most Innovative Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2020. What is the main formula behind all this success?
I was not expecting this, so let me say this. This actually came as a, I won't say a shock, but as a very pleasant surprise to me, because I was like, what, really? Like Asia's Most Innovative Women Entrepreneur. So that came as a very pleasant surprise. But I think Sadaf, initially when you are encountered to this world of recognition or a world of title, it feels good. I remember having butterflies in my stomach, that yeah, whatever. But after a certain point of time, rather than the award, I think what really matters is that, how do you define success? I won't lie, I started very young. So I started at 16. So us time pe, for me, an achievement was at that time was to be able to give a TED talk. And I gave my first TED talk when I was, I think, not even 20. I was 19 when I gave my first TED talk. So आपके जो success के parameters हैं, they keep on changing. So if you ask me what is my formula for success, I think you kind of have to get detached from having a definition of success, because the definition of success is going to change आफ्टर एवरी 6 months और इन 1 year. क्योंकि एक टाइम के लिए, एक एज तक, जब तक यू सेट योर गोल्स, अचीविंग दैट गोल इज सक्सेस. वंस दैट इज डन, it's no longer a success, because now that's gone. It's like, what's next? So I think for me, the idea of success is to be able to get detached from success, be clear about your purpose in life, and then work towards it. For me, it's about impacting people through my work. So be it Kilkari, where I'm helping kids to get enrolled into school, be it Game, where we help esports player to make career, or be it human science, where we are eliminating stress, or be it Rahmat, where we are rehabilitating all these manual scavenger. The way of doing what I'm meant to do is different, but the purpose to be able to impact and change life through my work remains the same. So for me, success is to be able to deliver good work and to be able to change life for better. And I intend to start my own charity house, SS Charity. So I think for me, that is success. Success is going back home with contentment, and it is about going back home with a smile that your actions have kind of changed life. So for me, that is success. That's it.
That is so true. Women like you and us who have come out of our comfort zone and have taken the bull by its horn, that is to chase our dreams and also overcome our fears to make our dreams come true. And I'm sure this has made a huge impact on the society, and that too for good. Now, you are also the founder of Human Science. Please tell us something about this organization and your role in it.
Yeah, I'm the co-founder at Human Science, and Human Science is world's first technical, expert-based organization working in stress elimination. Now, it is so ironical that most of the things that I do, they are being done for the very first time. So, hence the definition actually kind of start with that. But with Human Science, it's I'm the co-founder there, and we are working on a stress elimination concept. So the founder here and my mentor, Mr. Ranveer, has kind of I would say worked for 12 years and has been able to come up with a scientific technique that can eliminate stress in just 25 minutes. So there's a technique that has to be practiced for 25 minutes and it can eliminate stress. A complete physical model, you go into the Human Science life transformational centers that we have built, you practice this technique, and scientifically in 25 minutes your stress can actually be eliminated. So this is this entire concept of Human Science. And with COVID being into the picture, the physical models have kind of gone for a toss, and we're just waiting for better times to be there where we'll get the kind of needed permissions to launch the very good intention with which we started this concept of Human Science.
That's incredible. If we can understand the root cause of unhappiness and can work upon it, then I'm sure half of the world's problems will be solved then and there. Now, I'm going to ask you some very important question, and which I have been meaning to ask you since the beginning. Yes, I'm talking about space mining. What exactly is this concept and what do you propose to do in it?
Yes, I remember having this conversation, a very short conversation on the telephonic conversation that we have, and you were very excited to know about space mining. So, space mining, Sadaf, is we are basically India's first company to be working into this concept, and space mining, as the word suggests, is about mining the space. So we have built a technology that has 4 products that can actually extract these rare earth minerals from moon being the closest asteroid. So for those reasons we chose moon, and we launch our product and it goes on the surface of the moon to get all these rare earth minerals. So now the question comes that why is there a need for a product like this, and what is it that we're going to get from moon and is not available on earth? So as I spoke in the initial 10 seconds, rare earth minerals. So by definition, it says that minerals that are rare on earth, and I'm talking about platinum, iridium, helium-3, and these are available on earth but in a very less quantity, and with the consumption increasing globally on a daily basis, we actually need to find alternatives to them. And for example, platinum, China produces 90% of these rare earth minerals, and it has claimed that all these metals, in case the demand continues to be the way it is right now, would be gone maximum in next 20 years. And I'm not talking about 200, 300 years from now. I'm not talking about centuries. I'm talking about a decade and 2 decades. And trust me, you and I will be alive by then, so we'll be there to witness this. So the demand is there. The supply is in shortage, and for those reasons we have to kind of either find alternatives for it, which everybody is already on the mission to be doing it, or kind of get these same minerals from somewhere else. And this is the second thing that I'm talking about, is something that we are doing. So our technology would exactly extract these minerals, and in the process, of course, mining the space is the ultimate goal, but we intend to develop systems for space exploration. And the mission, I would say, the biggest mission that we have here is to make India an emerging superpower in this sector, because nobody, especially in India, Asia, and I can kind of vouch for global markets as well, no country has kind of till now taken the lead and has been an emerging power in this sector. So that is where we intend to go. We want to make India a superpower into this aero sector space and touch this unexplored industry, because it's a huge opportunity which is actually going to solve the problem of billions of people. And it is a futuristic problem that we have identified, and we are solely on the mission to be achieving it. And of course, a hardworking team that backs us up here, and let's hope for the best. As I'm as excited as you are for this project. So yeah.
Wow, Shrishti, I'm so honored and happy to be talking to you, and I'm sure this interview is going to inspire so many people who will be watching this show. My next question to you is that do you think that the world is shifting its mind and thought towards space science and also discovering a world which was thought beyond reach?
Okay, so this is an interesting question. I think globally, yes, people are more accepting towards innovation or towards space science, and of course, with Elon Musk doing what SpaceX has done, it has kind of opened multiple opportunities for a lot of people globally. But I think at the same point of time, somewhere that we as Indians lack in is to be first movers in everything, because when we are out there and we are talking about space mining, and when we talk about we being the first people to be doing that, a lot of people, and especially people from our country, don't take it very supportingly, because I don't know, maybe it's the trend, or maybe I've understood it not the very right way. We always tend to come from a place of second, that if somebody has kind of done this in the US, okay, that is when we can thought of kind of replicating it or doing it in our desi style. So I think globally, yes, people are more accepting towards innovation, and of course India is also seeing a boom when it comes to startup, and people are more open to accept new innovations and startup. But at the same point of time, I think there's still a lack of confidence that I see in the Indian markets or in the Indian investors, or in general, where they are not very confident when we say about Indians being the first one to be doing that. I think at least that is something that I've kind of felt in the conversations that I've been, and I kind of talk to say 12 people on daily basis. I have to. That's my job. To market this, to promote this, to talk to investors. That's what I do. To be confident enough and say, okay, we are the first one to be doing that, is something that I've seen at least lacking in Indian people. People are okay if I say that this technology is validated in the West, and now I want to do it our style, and I'll be the first one in India. So people are okay with that. But if I say we are the first country to be doing that with no kind of validation from the West, that is when kind of people take a step back. So and yes, you can't imagine everything to be aligned very perfectly. We are still developing, and a lot of things have changed for the better, and I hope that with proceeding times, people kind of become more accepting towards soul inventions from India as well. So that's what I hope to, or at least try to push the envelope with whatever I'm trying to do.
Right. And I believe that each one of us has the potential. It's just a matter of time and opportunity. You are an economics graduate and you could have pulled off pretty well in a comfortable job. Instead of that, you went ahead and now you're helping underprivileged children. Please tell us something about this organization.
My mom had this same question from me for a very, very long time, Sadaf. Yeah, it's true. I've done my economics honors, and I've cleared few examinations of actuarial science as well from the Indian and the UK society. And after my graduation, I had actually received offers for job as well with good packages. But I think I chose not to do the conventional thing, I would say. And it was not because I had this mindset कि अगर conventional है तो मुझे नहीं करना. But I think for me, as I've said, I do look for a deeper meaning in my work, because my work is my worship. I say I happen to be an ambitious person, and I'm clear as to what is it that I want to do, and I'm happy that I'm good at it. So I think that is when I chose not to kind of accept the good salary package that was being offered. And I kind of believe in this, that your salary is a bribe that they give you to forget your dreams. And at that point of time, I was not even earning, when I graduated. I was just earning very, very basic from the internships and the basic stuff that I was doing. So if I had to just look at the financial aspects, then it was a win-win situation for me. I could have opted for a job because of the good educational background that I had, and I would have settled. But I think at that point of time, I would have compromised with what I think I'm meant to do. So I never wanted that to happen. And talking about helping underprivileged kids, Kilkari is the closest to my heart even today. I was 18, I was 17, I think. I had just ended my school, and that is when I initiated Kilkari. It was me alone who started this project by admitting 13 kids in New Delhi. And after that admission, I would say the satisfactory feeling that I had got, I'm not going to sell that feeling for even $1 billion, I tell you. And that is the exact reason, and that is the contentment, and that is the satisfaction that I keep on talking about when I talk about wanting to create change with my work. Because once you do it, and once you see that your actions have kind of changed somebody's life for better, it's an, I don't know if addiction is the right word, but you get addicted to it. You want to do more, and you kind of want to bring that change, and the feeling that you get after doing that, you feel so accomplished. At least I did. And Kilkari started accidentally, as I told I was fighting with my friend on a phone, and I saw a kid with barefoot, and he was selling newspaper from one place to another, and he was so happy, and he just wanted to understand what was written there because it was in English. And that is when I kind of got a sudden realization that I'm here, I'm sitting in a car, in an air conditioned car, and I'm privileged enough to be driving a vehicle, and I have a 3-time meal, and I come from a decent background, and I'm still so unhappy with such stupid things in my life. So at times life kinds of give you a certain realization. For me, that was one of the moments, and that feeling is something that I don't want to trade off for anything in this world. So at Kilkari, we work on educating all these kids that you see begging on road. So we kind of get them admitted into schools under Right to Education, and then we have started this concept of Kilkari Pathshala, where along with their school, we provide them with the add-on educational support that we can.
That's very inspiring. Shrishti, what would you like to say to all the young girls who are watching this show about creating their own identity?
Sadaf, I strongly feel that times have changed. We are progressing, and the change has kind of come, but we still live in India, and in a patriarchal society like ours, for the sake of saying that things have changed, of course, yes, they have, but even today, I don't think that there's a scope of equality. Of course, if I talk about the rights and women participation, it has increased a lot, and that makes me really happy. But even today, there's such an underrepresentation of women in the CEO's position, or in politics, or as being the prime minister of the nation. Today, girls can walk shoulder to shoulder to men, and there is equality, of course, and I do agree to it. But at the same point of time, there are still a lot of pseudo parameters that exist around, and the taboos that exist around women, especially in sectors where there is an underrepresentation of women. For example, entrepreneurship. Trust me, in the last 8 years that I've been working, or the 9 years I've been working, I don't remember when was it when I met a sole female founder. I haven't met like a sole female founder coming out with her own company or business. No, of course I've met a lot of female CEOs, and I've met a lot of women in that higher level, but somebody to be the showstopper and having all the responsibilities by herself, it's not that women are not capable of. I think we as a society and as a nation have kind of somewhere failed to provide that structure. Because, and I always say this, when I started, I was discriminated for two things: one, my age, and second, my gender. I've had conversations with investors, and I've kind of openly talked about it now at my Josh Talks, and a lot of stuff when I talk about, I've kind of openly talked about that investors have kind of rejected me because of my gender, and the words were that you're going to get married one day, and what will happen in the business after you'll be gone. Or somebody came up and said कि तुम लड़की हो, तुम अमीर लड़के को ढूंढ के शादी कर लो, why do you have to do something like this. या ऐसे भी बोला था कि girls are not into these competitive industries. E-sport हो गया, stress elimination हो गया, do something related to makeup or beauty or parlor. So I think circumstances like this, and kind of people just wanting to have your number because you're a girl, or investors just calling you for the sake of coffee and not really interested into work meet. Although things have changed, but still I would say the fight for actual equality is a far-fetched dream, I would say. But yes, of course, the conversations are strong, and my only message to women and girls out there is that you need to identify this problem. We need to identify ourselves as future, and it is our responsibility. Nobody else is going to do that for you. So make sure that it is your responsibility as a girl or as a woman to kind of figure out your individuality and stick to it, and be stubborn about it. That no, I'm not going to change just because the society says this, or I'm not just going to accept something because it's normal, or it's because women prior to my generations have kind of accepted it. No, it's not okay. You cannot be okay with some things just because they are into existence. So you kind of need to figure out your individuality, stick to it, and I think that is the best gift that you can give yourself, along with financial freedom. No matter from which family you belong to, or whosoever your husband is, or whosoever your father is. I don't think that even matter. Even if you come from a financially amazing background, that doesn't mean that you can let go of your individuality. So I think it's very important to understand who you are as an individual, especially for women, because marriage is shouldn't be the best day in any girl's life. I don't have a problem with that. Of course, marriage is beautiful, but why should we see marriage as, I would say, the end result and the end goal to be achieved for any female? Why is that so? That is something that I'm not okay with. And if anybody is okay with it, that's totally her call. But I think at the same point of time, we need to struggle and fight and crave for our individuality. That is something that I strongly believe in.
Very rightly said. Shrishti, now that we know so much more about you, I am very inquisitive to ask you, where do you see yourself 10 years down the line?
Well, Sadaf, as I had not planned to be here at this time, similarly, I have not planned as to where I will be in next 10 years. Hopefully, doing some good work, impacting more lives at a much larger level, maybe at a global level, by God's grace, in case I get the opportunity to. And that's all. I mean, since I'm clear on the purpose, so I think continuing my work in extension to the purpose of my life is something that I intend to do. So where I will be in the next 10 years is something that I leave up to you. I just know that I'll be somewhere kind of working and creating impact on a much larger scale by God's grace. And at that point also, I just hope that I stay happy and content with the work that I would be doing then. But of course, with the current projects that I have, I just hope all of them mature and we are able to kind of achieve our mission going further.
Well, we wish you all the very best, and I'm sure this interview is going to inspire so many young minds. Now, before we say goodbye to you, I would like to ask you, what are your thoughts about this show?
I am in love with your concept, women influencer show, the attempt that you're trying to kind of do. And Sadaf, you yourself being an expert and kind of working for the best of channels at such big level, have kind of stepped out from your comfort zone, because if you would have continued doing what you were doing, there would have been no turning back in the financial returns and everything. So I think it goes to you, because being an expert and kind of leaving such big opportunities to be able to start something like this with a mission to connect with women influencers across the globe, it is tremendous. Because I always say that as a woman, I feel so happy when I come across a platform like yours, where the idea is to kind of have these conversations that kind of introduces a lot of question in the minds of a lot of people. That's what at least I intend to do when we tend to have impactful conversation like this. So I am really in love with your show, and I'm really happy, honestly very happy, to be a part of this and to be able to have the chance to share my journey. So kudos to you, because I am impressed with the kind of change that you're trying to make. And you're actually, I said it initially also, that you are actually being the voice of change going further, because women in our country need platform like this to kind of raise their voice. And it's good that you make us feel that we are not alone, and you're there with us to kind of be in the mission that all of us are on, to be able to kind of make things better for our community. So kudos to that. But I love you as a personality, and I love this show, and I'm really, really happy to be a part of it. So thank you so much, and thank you to you and the extremely hardworking team that you have. So thank you, and all the very best going further. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking out time to come on our show, and we wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. So if you're coming here for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon so that you are notified every time we upload a new video. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at sadaf.rizvi. So till we meet next time again, take care of yourself, stay safe, and always be happy.